Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Coffee Club, the internet voice of commonsenseconversation.com. If this is the first time you've seen this show and you wonder how you missed it, you didn't. This is the first live streaming show of the Coffee Club, which has been a pre-recorded podcast for a few months now. Come back to uStream every week. If you stumbled across it today, find it on purpose from here on out. It'll be on uStream every Monday at 9 a.m. The channel? The Coffee Club. Or you can find it recorded by noon on Mondays at commonsenseconversation.com. Or you can find it on the Blueberry community. That's BLUBRRY. Don't ask me why they don't like the letter E over there at Blueberry, but they don't. Blueberry, BLUBRRY.com/coffee_club. So what's the show all about? Well, it's kind of a cross between political commentary, political outrage, getting mad at the government for wasting money, getting mad at the government for stupid rules, poking fun at the government for rather silly things. But it does have a purpose. The purpose of the Coffee Club is to do one thing, and one thing only. It's to make you mad. It is to piss you off. It is to make you mad at a government that we have let get totally out of control, that wastes our money, that ignores the Constitution, that ignores our rights, and that is slowly but surely getting more and more overbearing, and that will take the country as we know it away from us if we don't get pissed off and stand up and do something about it. Now, you're not going to hear me advocate for violent overthrow of the government. Sometimes I will advocate for civil disobedience, but we have a mechanism to change the government in this country, and my purpose here every Monday morning is first to make you mad where you want to do something about it, and then to give you a vehicle to do it. Now, let me say right now, this show is not a lecture. Now, for the first couple weeks, it's not interactive. If you're using the chat section over there on uStream, I'm not seeing it. That will change in the next 2 or 3 weeks. It will become totally interactive. It'll be just like any other talk radio show. You'll be able to call in. You'll be able to go live on the air. There'll be a midway point between now and then when you'll be able to ask questions in the chat section. I'll be able to see them, read them, and respond back. But for right now, it's me talking. But that still doesn't make it a lecture. You can go to commonsenseconversation.com. The recorded show, like I said, will be up by noon on Mondays as a post. And down at the bottom of the post, just like every other blog in the world, is a comment section. Tell me what you think. If you think I'm full of it, say so. If you agree with me, say so. If you sort of agree with me, but you don't like my solutions, say so. While Common Sense Conversation and the Coffee Club and me do lean libertarian. Actually, I'd like to say I'm conservative, but this day and time, conservatives aren't conservative. I am a constitutional conservative, which means I'm a libertarian. Or if anybody really likes to dig around in the weeds of American politics, I'm a Whig. But in this day and time, if you're a constitutional conservative, that pretty much means you're libertarian. So I guess I'm a libertarian. Or I'm a Republican, spelled with a small r. Not a big R, grand old party hack Republican. Anyway, you can interact with this show for the first couple weeks by going to commonsenseconversation.com and use that comment section at the bottom. I'll answer any points that are made in the comment section with the next week's show. Another thing you can do, if I do succeed in pissing you off, if I do succeed in making you want to do something, the first thing you can do, the very first thing anybody can do, is real easy. Doesn't take much time. If you'll go over there in the sidebar of commonsenseconversation.com, you'll see a little widget where you can find your Congress critter. You put in your address, you put in your zip code, and you click enter or select or find, or I forget what the button says, and up's going to pop your congressional representative and both of your state senators, their names, their email addresses, their office phone numbers. The only thing that could be any better, and their street addresses. The only thing that could be any better would be if it also showed their public speaking schedule for the next month, so that you could maybe pay them a little visit at a town hall meeting. Show a little outrage. Politely. No threats, but show a little outrage. Because you see, folks, where we are now, I thought we sent a message last November. No, I take that back. I know we sent a message last November. But they didn't hear it. They're deaf. Or they know we were asleep for years, and they think if they just ignore us for a little while, we'll go back to sleep. And they're right, we were asleep for a long time. It's sad to think how many people in this country know who won American Idol last year. It's sad to think how many people in this country know all about the Housewives show or the latest reality TV show. It's sad to think how many people in this country know who won the Oscar for Best Supporting Actress and don't have a damn clue who their congressperson is. Don't have a clue the name of their representative or their senators are. But you know. I know. Everybody doesn't have to. But enough people are awake now that we can take our country back. I'm not saying our country's going away. There'll be this place that's on the North American continent with roughly the same borders as it has right now. And it'll probably still be called the United States of America. But I'm telling you what, folks, if we don't change things, it might be called the United States of America, but it won't be the United States of America. Barack Obama was straight with us during the campaign. He told us exactly what he was going to do. None of what's going on in this country now, none of his legislating by executive fiat, the presidential order, rather than through Congress, trying to ram mandated health care down our throats, all that, none of that should come as a surprise. He told us he was going to. What did he say during the campaign? Barack Obama promised people in America that he was going to fundamentally change America. Fundamentally change. To fundamentally change anything, look at the source of the word fundamental. Foundation. And what is the foundation of this country? The United States Constitution and the Bill of Rights. So he told us back during his campaign that it was his intention to change America from a country that followed the Constitution and the Bill of Rights. Of course, he wasn't starting that train down the tracks, folks. He was one of several since FDR that started that train down the tracks. We hadn't had a constitutional president since FDR started away from it, and everybody else has continued to one degree or another. Obama just stepped on the gas. Good thing. That was a good thing. When John McCain was nominated, I said, well, I'm going to vote for McCain, but in my heart I'm going to support Obama. Because McCain's going to be just more of the same old garbage, pretending to be a conservative because he's got a Republican name hung on him, but really being another big government Republican, another big R Republican, another grand old party hack Republican. So I'm going to actually be supporting, in my heart, Obama, because Obama's going to step on the gas and wake people up, and he did. Tea Partiers shouldn't be mad at Obama. Obama made the Tea Party. That was a good thing, because now we're awake. That's pretty much the type of things this show is going to touch on every week. It's going to be where we're going, how fast we're getting there, and how we're getting there, and a vehicle for changing back to a constitutional government. Like I say, you can use that little widget over there in the sidebar of commonsenseconversation.com and find out who to talk to if you don't know who your representative or your senators are. I suggest you use it. Your name and address. Well, your name's not even put in. Just your address. And yes, use your street address. You have to use your street address. For example, I live in Jasper, Georgia. But if I just used my zip code, this zip code is split between two representatives. So you got to put your street address in so it knows exactly where you are, so it can tell you exactly who your representatives are. But it's not saved. Nothing is saved. And participate in the comments section down there at the bottom, please. This is not a lecture. I'm not nearly smart enough to tell everybody how to straighten things out, although there are days I'll tell you I am. What I hope to do is foster a discussion about the intent of the founding fathers in this country, how far we've gotten from it, and how to get back to it for those who think that the Constitution's a good thing. And I'll tell you something else. While I am a constitutional conservative, I don't say the Constitution is perfect. I don't say the Constitution, the Bill of Rights, and the amendments we have so far are perfect. Perhaps some need changing. It's a possibility. My problem is when you don't change the law, you simply ignore it. My problem is when you have a federal government that does not change the law, that does not propose a constitutional amendment, say, giving the federal government power over education. They just do it. The Constitution doesn't give the feds any say in education. Did you know that? The feds have no say in educating our children at all, and frankly I think that's the way it should be. Education should be left to the states and to local governments. But even if the federal government should be involved in education, like it is, the Constitution doesn't give it that power. The Constitution's very plain. Powers not specifically given to the federal government by this document shall be reserved to the states and to the people. And there is no power specifically given to the federal government concerning education. That's just one example. If that is wrong, okay, but you change it. You don't just ignore it. So anyway, you know what the show's about. So this week, what am I going to do to piss you off this week? Well, let's talk about a little thing that's called the EAS. I don't even remember. I should. What the EAS stands for, but basically I can tell you what it does. It takes your tax money and it pays it to airlines to serve underserved airports. Nobody wants to fly out of these airports, but somebody, usually a local congressman, a local senator, trying to curry favor with his voters, has decided that it's an important airport.